Hi everyone, it's Marcy Denning here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I sell all of the fabulous Stampin' Up! Products that I share with you. I am unannounced yet again. I do apologize. This week has been very busy for me. I've been working away on I'm just sharing it to my Stampers group. I've been working on my paper share and my In Color Club, and Stampin' Up! This week is having on tour online. So that was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So I've been taking part in the Zoom meetings and watching the live presentations. So long story short, I am on now, unannounced, but I have some fun, brand new upcoming product from the upcoming annual catalog to share with you tonight. So please, when you stop by, say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. Sharing is caring, and it is how I reach more crafty friends, customers, team members. Yes, so please share my video. All right, so tonight we are working with this gorgeous Tasteful Touches stamp set. The bundle actually with these beautiful label dies. I just love these label dies. So yeah, so I pulled out a few elements from this to stamp with as well. We are using some of the twine, the gold twine, and what is that from? Where's my pre-order thing here? All right, that is from the Forever Greenery Trim Combo Pack. So we'll just move that to the side. As well as we are using the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. Hello, Lorraine. How are you? We're using the Tasteful Textile embossing folder that does go with this suite here. This gold trim comes from another suite of products. As well, I am not using the designer series paper that goes with this. I am using the beautiful Flowers for Every Season. It's a 6x6 designer series paper pack. So yes, and for the first time in a very long time, I created with Very Vanilla. I have not used Very Vanilla in a very long time. The Whisper White is my go-to color. So this is the card that I have created. So I don't know if you can see. I'm hoping that the camera is going to pick up the, hi Judy, how are you? I have used the Champagne Mist Shimmer Paint and a sponge dauber on, I can still see a bit of the sparkle on here, on this here stamp. I wanted to just create a very, very subtle image here, and then as well as have some sparkle to it. So the beautiful Champagne Mist shimmer paint really pulled that in as well. I don't know if it's going to pick it up. I used the In Good Taste Elements here, the little packet here. We have these little hexagon and X's, like X's and O's, I guess. It could be a kiss and a hug. So yeah, so I pulled some of these out as well as one of these branches, and I used my shimmer paint on that as well. I forced myself to use these elements. I almost never use this type of element. Hi, Jeannie. Yes, I am feeling better and I'm getting caught up. Thank you for asking. I almost never use these. I always buy these things and then think, oh, I'm going to use them, and oh, they sit on my shelf. So my first play, I was like, you know what? I am going to pull these out and I am going to use them. And I really like the way this turned out. So let's get started. I'm going to put this over here. So we are going to be using Early Espresso, Garden Green, and Petal Pink. And then, like I said, the Frost White Shimmer Mist. And then after I stamp I put my card over there. After I stamp all of my images and that on here, I ran this through my Big Shot with my embossing folder to create a little bit more texture to it, to give it that little bit different look. So let's just get everything organized here. And I did stamp off with my greenery because I wanted it more subtle looking. So let's put this up here, bring in my garden green and my label. So this is, can you see the beautiful embossed layer there in this label die? I think it is just gorgeous. I used the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. It's this one here, Jeannie. So you'll be able to order this on June 3rd is when it is available to customers. Unless you join my Sassy Stampers, you can order it now, add it as your part of your starter kit. As demonstrators, we can pre-order right now, so that is one of the perks. All right, so the way I figured out my spacing for my branch with my leaves is I like to do this. I place this approximately where I'm going to have it on my card front, and then that gives me a visual to know that I need to stamp one here and then one up here. So we're going to ink up, and like I said, we're going to stamp off, breathe on it, and then I know that I want this to come about here. Ink it up again, stamp off again, and I'm going to overlap my branches right here. So, and some of that can come off the page easy. So that way I know that my label is going to cover that. So let's now close this up. We are done with Garden Green. And now we are going to bring in our, I'm not sure what to call that, stamp. So actually, let's move this out of the way. So I'm just shaking it up, taking my lid off, and then I've shown you this before. It's easy to just take your dauber and dip it in the lid so you've got your ink on that. And actually I need that piece back because I don't want to get sparkle. I've tried to keep my grid paper that I've got below, I've tried to keep that clean for as long as possible to save save it for many uses, so I use a cut up piece. All right, so now all I'm going to do, because I've already got, you can see all that glorious sparkle on there, so I'm just going to stamp right over top of that there. Now, can you see how subtle that is? And now this does take a few moments to dry. That's why we're doing this first. Just so it gives it just a few more moments to dry before we run it through the die cutting embossing machine. So now I'm just going to bring one over here so that I've got some poking out here. And then I'm going to ink that up. There should be enough ink on that sponge. And then this will just clean up under the sink with a bit of warm water and soap, gentle soap. So then one up here. So there I've got 3. I'm not sure, I'm hoping that the camera is picking that up. I've got one up here, one here, and one here. So I'm going to set this aside for a moment now to let that dry. I'm going to close my champagne mist up because I don't want to spill that. That would not be good. Move that out of the way as well. So now let's take our label and make sure I'm in camera view. My feather, this beautiful feather stamp. I'm going to take it and open up my petal pink. Actually, we don't need that there anymore. Let's just move that to the side. That just keeps scooching out of my way there. So, all right. So now we are going to, thank you, Jeannie. I truly do appreciate that. Stamp that down. And then give it a few moments for that to dry. But before we move on, we are going to ink this up again. And we're going to stamp that right in the bottom corner here of my card on the inside. Thank you, Judy. Okay, so that is now stamped the feather. You could also use this on your envelope to make it pretty as well. All right, so now we're going to bring in our early espresso. And you are so special. I like the mixed font in this. Now, get over here so I'm hold my breath so that hopefully I stamp straight and in the middle. There we go. And we are done with the early espresso now. So now I want to show you a really cool trick. Okay, so I have used this designer series paper is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. You can see right here. That's a full sheet for the card front. However, all of this is not showing. So what you can do to, because nobody is going to know, and to give you that extra little bit of designer series paper that you can use on another project, we are going to move that out of the way. So you're going to take your designer series paper and place it down. And then I've taken a stitched rectangle I just chose the one that would fit underneath, so that way there's enough showing. I'm not going to be, oh no, I've cut that too big. So if I take this and center that on here, and then you can see I'm going to get a gorgeous piece of designer series paper there. So I'm going to just take that and die cut that out, because we want it to go as far as possible, right? So if you take that and die cut it out, I have that border piece there that my cardstock here is going to cover that opening, but I'm conserving this piece. So now I've got this beautiful piece that's stitched and die cut that I can now use on another project. Because why cover it all up and not use it? I'm conserving a bit more of it, and that way I've got this extra piece for another project. And this is the back of that. Very pretty. But I really like this. Now this is the new Bumblebee designer series, or sorry, in color. So now we are going to take, now this is the only, because you've already die cut out, so you've got this frame. So this is the only tricky thing, is getting your adhesive on here and not getting it all over your hands. All right, so I've got my early espresso, and I'm going to just take this and scoot you over so you're even. Because we want to be using our designer series paper. It's way too pretty to sit on a shelf and not get used. So there is my layer. All right. You like that tip? Good. I am glad. That means I'm teaching you, which is what I love to do. I'm teaching you new ways to be thrifty. All right. So now I've given this a few moments, so I'm going to dry. So I'm just going to trade my magnetic plate down out of the way and bring in my embossing folder. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is, back here. So now I'm just going to take and lay this inside. Now this is a 3D embossing folder, meaning it's thicker. So I'm going to lay that in there, and I'm going to run it through. Hi Cheryl, how are you? All right, so I'm going to just run it through my embossing folder here to give it that texture, just to add that little bit more interest in the stamped cardstock image. Now if you find that you've got a little bit of the shimmer paint, if it's still a little sparkly, a little damp still, hasn't completely dried, all you have to do is take that to your sink and run it under some water and wash it off. Now, I found that, yes, this is beautiful, but I wanted it to be just a smidge more subtle, as you can see with this, the difference. So what I did is I just flipped this upside down so that I'm not going over. Hello, Rebecca, how are you? So I am not going over the stamped image. So I'm just going to take my bone folder, and I am just going to smooth it out a bit using my bone folder. You can see it's curling a bit, but that is okay because I'm going to glue that down. So that's just taking a bit of that three-dimensional image, embossed image, and smoothing it out a bit so it's just a little bit more subtle. If you like that full-on, really textured look, you don't have to do this, but I wanted to add that little bit, just make it a little subtler. So then I'm just going to glue that on, and that will help flatten that out. But you can see the difference now, how you can still see the pattern, but it's not quite as intense. So there is a second little tip for you guys. So Rebecca, how are you feeling? Have you had that baby yet? I'm anxious to hear. So my catalogs, although I ordered them at 20 after 7 on Tuesday morning, they did not ship until Friday. So they are supposed to be here Friday. So if you have placed an order with me in the last 6 months, you are automatically going to get a catalog. And let me tell you, this catalog is fabulous. If you have not placed a order with me in the last 6 months and you would like one, please just message me to request one. Okay, so now we are going to adhere that over that, and now you can see that you can't see that I have die cut that center piece out to conserve this extra piece. Even if I was to pop this up on dimensionals, you're still not going to be able to see underneath unless you take it and really up close, and I'm sure the recipient is not going to do that. Yes, so because Monday is a holiday, I'm not going to be able to mail my catalogs until Tuesday, and mail is very slow right now because they are overwhelmed. So be patient. I will notify you when I have placed those catalogs in the mail, and then I'm going to ask that you just keep an eye and let me know when they do arrive. I'm going to be doing a virtual open house come when the catalog is live and you're able to order from it. I'm going to be doing it on Facebook as well. I'm going to be doing one on YouTube, a live event, because I have customers and friends that do not have Facebook. So I will be doing my live event on both platforms so that I don't miss anybody. Everybody is included. Because those of you that are local to me know that I like to put a lot of effort into my open houses for the new catalogs. I just love holding my open houses. So it's kind of sad that I can't do it. So this way, if I'm going to do it virtually, then you guys can still enjoy, take part. All right, so these, you can see that there's that little bit of material that's keeping it popped in there. So I'm trying to be so careful as to not break it. So try to get this out. There's one. And yes, this will cost you more postage to mail, but that's okay, in my opinion. All of your cards don't require extra postage, and there's that one or two that you're going to be sending out that will require a smidge more, but All right, so those two are out, and now let's get our leaf. Now this, you do have to be careful with these things here because they are a little bit more fragile and you don't want to break it because they have the thinner pieces. So, all right, there we go. Now, I don't know if you could tell on this, but I took that sponge and I went around my label so that it just adds that little bit of sparkle. You know me, I just can't help putting sparkle on everything. So I'm just going to take what's already on there and just go around. Hi Tammy, how are you? So I will be posting my In Color Club and my paper share. I will be posting it within the next few days. As well, I'm going to have something special next week, a special event type of thing. I'm still working out the details. My birthday is May 23rd. And I want to do a special something for my birthday. Usually my in-person ladies, class ladies, know that I usually do some kind of a special to celebrate my birthday. So I'm going to be doing something. I have to finish working out the details, so I will let you know what that's going to be. So I'm just taking and daubing. I'm going to get the shimmer all over my finger, but that's okay. So I've got a little bit of that champagne mist on here, just a touch. And then I'm just going to wipe my fingers off the side here. All right, so now, while we're waiting for that to dry for a moment, we're going to take a bit of this and my snips. I'm just wrapping it around my hands a few times. Let's give it a little excess. And our snail is, I believe it's gone. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on it, but our snail is retiring. We are getting a new adhesive. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep using my snail. I've got it. I like to use this to hold down my ribbon and stuff like that. So I'm using my silicone craft sheet because it is meant for something like this. I've flipped it over. I have adhesive on this and it comes right off. So if you use this, and okay, so we're just going to place that down. I kind of like the look. Usually I wouldn't have those tails showing. Usually I tuck them under, but I kind of like that look with this gold. It's kind of cool, I think. So I'm just taking it and wrapping it in a circle. You can go as big or as small as you want. Making the circles not all the same. And I'm going to add just a titch right there so that I can stick that. So that way, that's going to be like that. And if you didn't like the way it was looking, you could peel this off and redo it. That's the beauty of using this kind of adhesive. There, okay, so now I'm just going to take some dimensionals going to put 2 here so that we don't have any saggy middles. And then 1 at either end. Now, the blog post with all of the measurements will be going up in a little while. So to check out the exact measurements, just give me about 40 minutes-ish so I can get this video downloaded and uploaded to my YouTube channel, and then put on into my blog. So now we're just going to cover that center and try to stick it down straight before I there we go. And now what I'm going to do with this, and you can see the one side is just smooth, but the other side, they've got some, the pattern is cut right into that. It is very cool. Okay, so now all I'm going to do, before I put the glue on, I want to just show you that I'm just going to lift up that, and you can just tuck that in and then adjust. So I'm just going to put a few drops of glue. A little goes a long way. Just at the base there. I feel that that is enough to hold it. Then lift these up, and because my dimensionals are here and in the center, I know I've got some room there. And it's going to just tuck there, and then you can take your pick tool and just adjust any of those loops that you want. And then, because these are tiny, it's always easier to apply your adhesive to the larger item. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put 1 dot there and 1 dot there, and then I'm going to take my your pick tool, and with the putty end I'm going to pick that up, and that way I am not using my fingers and getting glue and the shimmer paint everywhere. So that is my card for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget we've got our stamped inside as well. We don't want any naked insides. We want our inside to be as beautiful as the outside. And then you can see how it's just so subtle that there is that little bit of the stamping. I can see that there's a flower detail right there. So yes, that is all brand new product other than the shimmer paint that I have shared with you tonight. So remember, you cannot purchase this at this point in time. You have to wait till June, unless of course you join my Sassy Stampers family. Then you can add these items to your starter kit. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I truly do appreciate you taking a few moments out of your Wednesday evening to craft with me. I hope that you try this trick to conserve some of your paper. Why cover up the entire piece when you can die cut it? If you use a nice die, then you can die cut that out, and then this is perfect for the front of another card. So thank you again, and don't forget to share my video. Sharing is caring. Please use this month's host code when shopping my online store. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. I will check back to my messages later on. I always come back and check to make sure that I'm not missing any messages. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, please click that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos from me. Friday, I will be back, and Friday, I should have my paper pumpkin. Paper pumpkin is supposed to arrive on Friday. Woohoo! I'm so excited because I'm going to get some new in colors. They are part of the paper pumpkin kit this month. I'm not sure which what it exactly is going to be, but I cannot wait to share that with you. So I will say good night, and I will see you on Friday. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Bye for now.